Yo, what's going on, Bulls fans? Welcome into the Bulls Report. My name is Patrick Siepman, and coming up on today's show, we got a fun one for you guys where we are going to be going over 5 draft targets that you Bulls fans can watch during March Madness. The basketball nut I am. I cannot wait to watch this tournament. It is my favorite time of the year. And plus, we got some NBA draft prospects that will be playing in this year's tourney. But first off, I do want to give some congratulations to Coby White, as he actually won the award for Eastern Conference Player of the Week, averaging 27.7 points per game, 7 rebounds a night, and 4 assists. As you guys know, I am on Team Tank for the Chicago Bulls, but I love seeing young players in this organization develop, and we've really seen that with Coby White over the last 2 seasons. Like, he was averaging 9 points a game 2 years ago, upped it to about 20, and now we're seeing Coby White take another step in his basketball career. So nothing but love for Coby White, but if you guys want to show him some love on today's show, type his jersey number, type those zeros down below in the comments section. It's been awesome watching him develop within this Bulls organization. Truly one of the better 3-level scoring guards in the NBA as it stands right now. He can get it done from beyond the arc, at the mid-range, and attacking the basket. So if you guys want to show Coby White some love, type those zeros down below. All right, let's dive into it. 5 draft targets that you Bulls fans need to keep your eyes out on during the March Madness tournament that gets underway Tuesday night. I couldn't be more excited, but we're going to start off with a player that I love watching. This guy is must-watch TV, in my opinion, and that being Maryland center Derik Queen. Now, this guy, he's a big body center, but he has unreal touch and an unreal skill level for his size. And his raw numbers on the season, 16.3 points per game, 9 rebounds a night, does average just under 2 assists, and he does have some playmaking ability, which we'll dive into here in a second. But he can also protect the rim at a decently high level, 1.1 blocks per game, but the field goal percentage is what I love the most here, shooting almost 53%. And when I think of Derik Queen, I think of just a perfect modern-day big, where you can have him operate at the top of the key, run dribble handoffs off him. He can, cut to the basket, play 4-on-3 if he's setting that high pick and roll. And could he be a little Alperen Sengun for the Chicago Bulls? I kind of see it in his game where he's got unreal footwork, unreal touch around the rim. And I actually do think his playmaking ability, where maybe we haven't seen it as much this past season in the college basketball land, but I think once he gets to the NBA with increased just spacing out there on the floor, I could see him really operating as a playmaking big, which obviously we've seen guys like Jokic and Sengun really take that archetype of center to the next level. So maybe the Bulls could be viewing Derik Queen as that guy. Obviously, center will be a huge focal point this offseason. And if Derik Queen's the pick, man, sign me up any day of the week. But let's get it to another big here who's a completely different style of big compared to Derik Queen, and it's Khaman Maluach. Now, this guy is the prototypical Clint Capella-esque big, where he is just that lob threat, rim protecting guy, 7'2", crazy long wingspan, and he has been kind of that defensive anchor for one of the best defensive teams in the country this past season in the Duke Blue Devils, averaging 8.3 points per game. Keep in mind, this is only with 21 minutes per game, so it's not like he's getting 30, 35 minutes per night, but he's getting 8.3 points per game, up 6.8 rebounds, 1.2 blocks. And the thing I love the most about what you guys see on screen right now is the free throw percentage, 74.6. Incredible stuff from Maluach from Duke. But, another reason why I'd be so big on him if he is the pick for the Chicago Bulls, and I think this is also a guy, he's got crazy potential. I think his ceiling is incredibly high just because of his natural athletic frame and, kind of just how he could fit in the NBA modern-day game, but I think he would fit a huge need on this Bulls roster of just a lob threat, rim-protecting big, because, Nikola Vucevic is the complete opposite of that, and Jalen Smith is more of that stretch 5. Yes, Jalen Smith can protect the rim, but he's not the lob threat that he is, and could you imagine Josh Giddey coming off that pick and roll? He's throwing it up over top. I guarantee you this Bulls front office, not the smartest front office, but if I was running the Bulls, this guy would be high up on my draft board heading into the March Madness tournament. But let's kick it to a very exciting player here, playing for the Baylor Bears, VJ Edgecombe, guard. He is a freak athlete. He is a human highlight reel with the basketball in his hands. He's trying to dunk about everything once he gets in the paint, and I love that mentality out of him because I do think, in the modern day game and kind of how these players are playing now, it's all about shooting threes and really don't have those, typical rim pressuring guards. But VJ Edgecombe is just that. This past season, averaging 15 points a night, 5.6 rebounds, 3.3 assists. Now, he is a high volume scorer. That's why the efficiency is not as high as you would like it to be, but 43.5% from the field. And you know what? I'll take 34.5% from three. But my pro comp for him, maybe this is a little rich. Maybe I'm shooting for the stars here with this pro comp. Give me a little Vince Carter in VJ's game, like in terms of a guy who, he's got a very creative dunk package as well, and he is trying to dunk everything once he gets in that lane. So I would be a big fan of him and actually would like the combination. Or if you were going Josh Giddey and maybe the Bulls decide to move off Coby White, we go Josh Giddey, VJ Edgecombe, Modest Buzelis, and you figure out that front court down the line. But I love that trio of backcourt that you could have with a guy like Lonzo, Ayo Dosunmu coming off the bench. You would really have a solid five-man guard or four-man guard rotation if VJ Edgecombe's a pick. Obviously, if the Bulls keep on the Coby White, I don't know if they would attack another guard in the NBA draft. But, man, I would be a big fan of him suiting up for the Chicago Bulls next basketball season. But we'll dive into two more names here in a second, but first off, you guys let me know, who is your dream draft pick for the Chicago Bulls as it stands right now? For me, I'm going Derik Queen. Big fan of his game, and I do think he would be incredibly successful with the Chicago Bulls. But if you guys could, let me know your thoughts down below. Who is your dream draft pick for the Chicago Bulls? Now, we'll get to those two names here in a second, but first, got to tell you guys about today's presenting sponsor, and that is Prize Picks. Now, if you guys download the Prize Picks app today and plug in that promo code CLNS, you guys will get $50 instantly after you play your first $5 lineup. Download the Prize Picks app today, plug in promo code CLNS, get $50 instantly after you play your first $5 lineup. Now, what is Prize Picks? Well, it's the best place to get real money sports action with over 10 million members and billions of dollars in awarded winnings. Prize Picks has made daily fantasy sports accessible to all. You just pick more or less on at least two players for a shot to win up to 1,000 times your cash. Run your game all season long on Prize Picks. Now, if you guys are trying to increase your viewing experience for a Bulls game or a Blackhawks game, Prize Picks is the way to do so. Put your basketball or hockey knowledge to the test and create a Prize Picks lineup for every single event. It makes it so much more enjoyable, and trust me, once you guys create your first lineup, you guys will want to make one for every single game out there. And plus, the college basketball season, head into that big tournament here on Tuesday. It would be a lot of fun if you guys made a Prize Picks lineup and watched all of the college basketball games getting underway this week. So download the Prize Picks app today, plug in that promo code CLNS, and you guys will get $50 instantly after you play your first $5 lineup. Download the Prize Picks app today, plug in promo code CLNS, get $50 instantly after you play your first $5 lineup. A massive shout out to Prize Picks for sponsoring today's show. Prize Picks, run your game. Now, another guy I'm a big fan of here, another player from Duke, Kon Knueppel. Do I think it's likely that the Bulls take another guard? Probably not. But also, if the Bulls do decide to move off Coby White and you could get 6'6", dead-eye shooter Kon Knueppel next to Josh Giddey, man, it would be a lot of fun to watch. And this guy, he's a polished player already. Kind of reminds me of a juiced-up Austin Reeves, but he's averaging 14.4 points per game, 2.7 boards, shooting the lights out from beyond the arc, 39.2% from three. And we saw when Cooper Flagg went down this past week in the ACC tournament, they relied on this guy a ton, and he rose to the occasion. They had to obviously rely on some of these other guys, their secondary, their tertiary scoring options. But Kon Knueppel as a first scoring option on Duke this past week, he looked awesome, and I'm calling it right now. The star of March Madness will be this freshman, number 7 right here, Kon Knueppel. He will be a March Madness star when we're talking on the channel here in 2 weeks and Duke's in the Elite Eight, possibly the Final Four. We'll be saying, man, Kon Knueppel, he's averaging 25 and 5 throughout the tournament. He is so just poised and under control when he's out there. He's great at navigating the pick and roll, and just as a pure dead-eye shooter, which Duke also didn't really ask him to do too much. Now, he will just naturally get those looks in the flow of the offense, but if you just want a guy that can sit in the corner, knock down open shots, I mean, this guy's got a flamethrower on his right arm. I would take him over Coby White. That's kind of how I'm feeling right now. Maybe you trade Coby White to the Orlando Magic and you draft Kon Knueppel in that 9 to 15 range where the Bulls will land. But we'll finish it out here talking about a guy who will be playing Wednesday night versus actually my Xavier Musketeers. Shout out to the Muskies. Tre Johnson, this guy's a polarizing prospect. He is a bad shot taker, but also a bad shot maker. And he's electric with the basketball in his hands. And really, Texas just rides or dies with this guy throughout the season. And his stats look great. 19.8 points per game, 3.0 rebounds, 2.8 assists, and fairly efficient from the field, but really efficient from beyond the arc, where he gets a lot of his shots up. But he attacks the mid-range at a high level. And I don't love this comparison that I have, but he kind of gives me shades of like a Tyler Hero, where it's like, hey, he wants to operate out of that mid-range. He'll just get to that one quick crossover, and he'll rise up, use the angles, leverage, either fade away and just knock down that wide open mid-range shot. But this guy, he will have a game where he goes 1 for 14, or he'll have a game where he'll go 11 of 14 and completely catch fire. You really don't know what Tre Johnson you're going to get on any given night. So he's a polarizing prospect. I see more him as a guard off the bench in the NBA. So maybe the Bulls, again, this all comes down to Coby White if they're going to attack a guard here in the first round of the NBA draft. But I would still be a fan if Tre Johnson ended up with the Chicago Bulls. But hey, if you guys are still here, still rocking with us and made it to the end of today's show, hit me up with a C-Red down below in the comments section, as Bulls got a big matchup with the Utah Jazz tonight. If you're Team Tank, you're really hoping they lose. But if you want the Bulls to go make a run in the playoffs, this is a must-win game for our Chicago Bulls. But hey, if you guys made it to the end, give me a C-Red down below. Also, hit me up on Twitter, at Pat Sieps is the Twitter handle, tweeting about everything around the NBA, NFL, college basketball all season long. So if you guys want to give me a follow over there, please do so. And we'll see you guys next time. As always, go Bulls.